Welcome to Family Gaming. I'm Niebuhr. Monkeyami's not here right now. It's been a while since we've had a video, and actually I was sitting on this video for a while, the gameplay. I wanted to talk about loadouts. So here, basics, by the way, not in depth. So first thing about loadouts is choosing which subclass you want to go with. So here I know Striker best. This is on his character. So I'm just opening up the menu here to look for some options. A lot of times within the subclass perks there are ways that melee can charge grenade, grenade can charge melee, etc. So I wanted to look for some of those because those are going to determine which of your two stats, the two of your three stats that you're going to focus on the most. So within Striker there's not a whole lot that as far as synergy goes. There was that one I think under the melee that does a little bit, but that was about it. So that makes it easy here, that amplify I think. Can't read it too well because it's really small right now on the screen. But with Striker, I like to go Intellect, Discipline, and I don't think Monkeyami's got an Armamentarium, but I do that for a reason, because I wear the Armamentarium, so that way I get my fist as quickly as possible and I get the grenades. So 2 grenades. So one thing about basic loadouts is the numbers there under your light level, your intellect, discipline, and strength. Those are based on tiers. So anything over the tier does not help you. So with intellect and discipline, I run tier 5 on both of them. Here with Monkeyami's gear, I don't think I can get him to tier 5 on both. But that means 300. So anything over 300 doesn't do you any good. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. I've seen people with like 380 intellect. So there he's got 278, so that gets him tier 4. And then here he's only tier 1 with discipline, but with strength he's tier 3. So I'm going to try and figure out where we can get rid of some strength, unless you like to use melee a lot. So there I'm switching that to discipline. Looking here, there's no strength to begin with, but there's intellect. So what I'm looking to do here is maximize intellect and strength now. He hasn't maxed out his stuff, so using some motes of light to see if I can at least unlock that first tier perk on the gauntlets to get some extra intellect, and I can't. So you know, that's one way that you can help your loadout, is by at least unlocking the first tier there of your stat bonuses. So this is basically, you could spend a lot of time on this, switching back and forth between intellect and discipline, especially when you're getting close to rank 5 or tier 5 on 2 of them, because if you're sitting 317 one and 298 on the other, the extra 17 on the one doesn't help you at all, and the 2 fewer, it just brings you back down to tier 4. So it doesn't help that you're 2 away from tier 5, you're still tier 4. So if that, hopefully that makes sense. It's the tier that matters, not your number. So you want to, if you know, ideal would be 300, 300, because that way you've got as many left over for your third stat as possible. So sometimes you'll hear people talk about tier 11, tier 12. What they're talking about there is if you were to add up all their tier levels. So if they're 5 intellect, 5 discipline, 1 strength, that would be tier 11. So there are ways to get tier 12. Here I'm trying to do the same thing with Sunbreaker to see if there's some synergy, because if you've got something where melee kills charge your grenade, then what you could do is stack up on your strength and just ignore discipline, because whenever you're getting melee kills, you're going to charge your grenade anyway. So you could go with like a 5-1-5 build then. That way you would have your hammers as often as possible. Your grenade, you wouldn't. It would only get charged from your melee. Well, I should say the extra benefit would only get charged from your melee. You would still be tier 0 or tier 1 with your grenade, and then your melee would charge that. So basically, a couple takeaways. Basically, just anything over that tier amount isn't going to help you. So if you're 300, that's the same as if you're 380 or 400 even. That extra amount doesn't help. Anything under the tier brings you all the way back to the beginning of the tier. So if you're 299, that doesn't make any difference. I don't know what the tier 4 starts at, probably like 270 or something, but it's as if you were the 270 or whatever it was that tier started at. So there's a lot of ways you can bounce back and forth between intellect and discipline, or discipline strength, to try and switch the stats out on those, which is what I'm doing here. It's basically just a puzzle game now. But a couple things to keep in mind. Keep your ghosts. you're going to want to have one PvP ghost, where you get glimmer from killing warlocks or whatever. One high, then light level, one high light level PvE ghost, but then keep your other ghosts for helping the extraction perk. And then also keep your cloaks or whatever your class mark is for different things. One PvP, one PvE is what I do to help get the rep based on what I'm doing. But hopefully that helped just for the basics. I'm sure you could really get into the subclasses and discover the synergy as well, which I'll leave to the pro YouTubers. But those are the basics, and I hope you got something out of it. Have fun, make friends.